Hey guys, today we're going to be unboxing the 1/100 scale Penelope from Mechanicore. I think they're calling it the Omega Zerstorein or something like that. They're basically using their kit of the Cassie, the 1/100 scale Cassie that they made before, and just making some alterations and obviously, of course, adding a lot of the armor onto it. The base Gundam inside is going to be almost exactly the same as what we had for the Cassie. Of course, like the head and certain parts are going to be different, but just the outer armor that we're adding onto it is going to be different anyway. I'm showing it to you guys like this because this is how I got it. I ordered it from Samuel Decal, so I get some extra decals in there. I think these are only from Samuel Decal. I'm not sure if everyone's getting those if you order them from someone else, so that's why I wanted to show it to you guys like this first. It's very, very shiny box, plus it's wrapped in plastic, so you're getting a lot of reflection there, I'm sure. And by the way, if you can't tell, this box is huge. It's taking up my entire light booth, so this unboxing is going to take a while. So I hope you are going to want to see this, because if you don't really care too much about this kit, then you probably aren't going to want to suffer through a really long unboxing video for this, because it's just going to be long. So there we go. Now it's even more shiny. Now the plastic's off. You can see me behind my camera here in the reflection. Here's the decals. Really nice big sheet of water slide decals we've got here. Loads, and yeah, I don't know if these are from Samuel or these are the Mechanicore ones. I don't think these are the ones from Mechanicore because they say 1/100 scale Gundam Penelope custom use on there. I think if they are the Mechanicore ones, which I think are inside there, they're gonna say Zerstorein, not these. So I think these are extra ones, I believe, from Samuel. So yes, we have the cover of the box. It's very, very shiny. We got some nice big artwork there, some 3D rendering, like a close-up of the front of the chest, a picture of the back. Let's go around and look at the back of the box. Nothing there. On the side here, there's my reflection, everything reflected in there. It's just got the logo and the Zerstorein there. Yeah, I don't know, were they calling it Omega Zerstorein or Zerstorein? Anyway, whatever, and that's the premium version, limited to 2,200 pieces only. That's pretty cool. I got the limited version. It's a very heavy box. It's very big. It's like the size of a perfect grade box. Not quite as wide, not as long, but it's definitely a very, very large box here. So here on the side, once again, as well, we've got some information there, data and specs on the kit. So I think that's giving you just so overall height of the kit. This is about the kit data, not the mobile suit. So it's got like the number of parts, how many LEDs, all of that stuff in there. Then we got some nice renders here where the armor is rendered clear. I kind of wish that they would have gave us some clear armor parts. I asked Samuel if it has them, but he didn't respond to my message yet. So we'll see when we open the box, because that'd be really cool. Because the kit was delayed, so I hope that like maybe as like a sorry for the delay, they threw in like an extra couple runners of clear parts. Would have been cool, but we'll find out momentarily. And then here we can see just more stuff about the weapons. The special, like the limited edition version, this version has 2 shields and 2 rifles rather than just the standard version. I think that has just one rifle and 1 shield. So that's one special thing about this. Also, the feet are different color and a few other things as well. We have a lot of special stuff included in this version. Then here on the other side, we've got some more information there. Instructions, just some like legal stuff, as legal as it can be for a technically illegal kit, I suppose. And then shoulder armors, leg armors, detail shots there. So much detail on these kits, it's crazy. They're 1/100 scale, but they're super huge, like PG size. 160 scale, really, really big, just because the mobile suit for one is a very large mobile suit. And then we can see each kit has its own individual number. I have number 949. I believe that was the first one. I think Samuel told me he had like number 949 through like 999, maybe something like that. So I don't know, maybe it was the first one that Samuel had, I'm not sure. Anyway, so pretty cool. They give you a limited number on there, and then here's just the final inspection, the weight on the box. So 2.88 kilograms, I guess. So pretty heavy box. Let's cut this open and see what we got. Oops, forgot to show this side too. I figured both the sides were the same, but this side is actually different. We've got a pretty cool picture of the Penelope Gundam sort of looking down at a 3/4 angle there. Pretty cool. Again, just says premium version there, 1/100 scale, and all of that. So once the box is open, this is what we're greeted with. Big kind of box covering there, which I believe is just going to open like this. So there's a bunch of our parts. We'll get to that momentarily, but I want to go through some of this stuff over on this side first. We've got a big package of loads of stuff here. Bunch of stuff. So here we can see we've got a bunch more water slides inside this package. Let me go ahead and cut this open. So here, this package is going to be our camo decals. So we've got one in gray. This is really funny. Two in gray, it's like a book. Then page 3 is more gray, then blue and red. And then the back just shows where all of those are going to go. So you can see those are going to be going around on the kit. I'm guessing that that's not the only page of instructions there. If I open this up, I think I'm going to find... Yeah, this opens and shows you where we're going to be putting all of the camo decals. I'm not sure if I want to use the camo or not on mine eventually. It comes with it, and there's a lot of them, and they look pretty cool, so I might try them. Obviously these decals are huge, so this is like a A4 size paper that's just filled with these decals, and we've got 3 of these sheets, so obviously quite a lot there. And then we have this package, which is going to be our instructions, and more decals. So inside the second bag, here's the other decals. So these are the decals from Mechanicore that we've got. And then, so these all say Zerstorein and the Omega symbol and all of their kind of symbols where they can't exactly, they have like the Anaheim Electronics logo, but it's slightly different. They can't make anything like exactly copying Gundam, but Samuel can, so that's why we have these decals from Samuel as well. So we have a lot of options there for decals, a lot of these smaller ones. Of course they're going to go around everywhere, and then lots of like the larger markings. So not sure if I want to go with Samuel's Penelope markings or with these Zerstorein markings. Might mix and match maybe some of both, but it's just so many decals, it's crazy. And then we also have our metal, our etch, photo etch parts. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for, photo etch. Quite a lot of photo etch parts that we're going to be using for this, so they're going to be going in to add some nice metallic, really fine metallic details in some like the vents and other areas like that. So also very cool. Then in here we should have our instructions. So for the Cassie, they went ahead with a instruction book that was just a CD. It's like a CD-ROM that you had to use to look at the instructions. Very, very annoying. Really glad they went with an actual book this time. I think enough people complained about the CD that they figured out they can't do that. I have seen online that they have issued some amendments to this though, so there are some mistakes in this instruction booklet, so just keep that in mind if you're building it, to refer to those amendments. I think Samuel, if you ordered from him, he sent an email with those to everyone to print out. Otherwise, they're on his Facebook page as well and probably elsewhere. So here's the front. Nice big CG rendering there. So no pictures of like the kit, like a painted up finished kit anywhere, which is kind of disappointing. And then just here on the back, just pretty simple kit specifications again and the symbol there. Inside, read before use. Yeah, probably not. That's like the like agreement thing that you have to press before doing something online that no one ever reads. Not. And then here's our parts list. Obviously there probably aren't going to be any X's here unless some of these runners are recycled from the Cassie Gundam, which I suppose is a possibility. So obviously going to be quite a lot. Like I said, this is a 1/100 scale kit, but it's basically like a perfect grade. Just it's got the full inner frame, and then just so many parts, a lot of parts here. So here we get to the third page. There we're getting to our photo etch parts, screws, and then all of our LED parts listed there. So definitely make sure you check those as well too right away. Then other parts list, so there's our decal sheet. Supposed to have our decal sheet as well as the poster. I haven't seen the poster. Maybe it's in somewhere else in here or like underneath. They didn't want to fold it up so small. I don't know. There should be a really huge poster. The poster for the Cassis was ridiculously huge. I should dig that out and actually put it up somewhere. And then here's the other exclusive stuff for the limited version. It has a metal V-fin, it has LED beam sabers, an extra runner for building an extra rifle. So maybe the standard version does come with 2 shields, but only 1 rifle. So we get parts to make an extra rifle, parts to make the feet blue instead of red, but if you're going to be painting, again, doesn't matter at all. And then our decals there. So there's our extra stuff. Then going through the construction, it's going to... I want to go through this pretty quickly because there's going to be so much of it. Looks like we're starting off with... what's that? That looks like the front skirt, but I'm not sure. Not really labeled too clearly, but looks like we're building the shield there. But I think that's just this part down here. So what's this first part? Looks like the front skirt, but I'm not sure. That's really weird. Anyway, it doesn't look to say anywhere on there. So we're building that first, then the shield, then the beam rifle, so kind of very strange order here. Then the head, which is pretty short, only a few steps there. Then the bird head, which I know what you guys are thinking. I don't like bird heads or bird backpacks or bird anything, and you're right. So I usually I'm not really a fan of the Penelope Gundam because of that, but I think this Mechanicore version did a lot to remedy that for me. It's scaled down quite a bit. It's not quite so prominent, the bird features of this kit. Anyway, so there's going to be our LED instructions there for putting the LED in that. Pretty cool there. The shoulder armor now, other kind of, I've always thought that to be kind of bird beak shaped there as well on the shoulder, and then more bird wings. But I'm still going to give it a go. So building the arms there, and then finishing the shoulder armor. So very weird order. It's kind of like jumping around all over the place for the construction. And then moving on to the legs and all of that. Legs, 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 legs. Then the waist section looks like, and then the torso. So building the torso, chest part there, and then the I think that's the eye field generator out on the front of the chest there. And yeah, putting all of that together like that. Then building the backpack, which is just these like hugely long fins. Those are going to be some really huge pieces. Looking forward to seeing what those look like. Then the assembly instructions, putting the LEDs through the body for the chest part and then into the backpack. Those parts, that's a really complicated picture there, so it's not going to be easy. This is definitely, I'm always advocating that like when you're a beginner and you're wondering like what kit to start off with, just get whatever you want because the steps are basically the same. Like you could do a high grade, master grade, or real grade. This would be one of those that I would not recommend for a beginner. Definitely not. Definitely going to be a lot more complicated. And then here's just some final assembly, plugging the LEDs in on the head, putting on the side skirts, so the back skirts. So I think the back skirt was what that first thing we were building was. Then the bird head on the top, and then the weapons, that's it. And then here, after sale, just some other stuff, I guess maybe instructions if you need to get some replacement parts. And then decal instructions, so here's that, going to be quite a lot. They're just marked with numbers on there. And then here as well, so loads of decals. Alright, so let's start digging through the box now. Okay, so on this side we've got one big bag with a bunch of white parts and three other runners, so 4 runners in here total, a bunch of frame parts in there we can see. Second bag is going to have a bunch more white parts. Obviously you can see that a lot of these parts are very, very large. And then some red parts as well. The red is that kind of like nasty Chinese red color that like on other third-party kits I've seen the red is just like this nasty kind of like pinkish salmon red. Like printing like actual red is too expensive or something, I don't know. But it's going to be painted anyway, so it doesn't matter. Bag 3 is just more of our very large white armor pieces. Three runners of white, and then one kind of like lighter gray is going to be for some detail parts, it looks like, in there. You can see some of our very large pieces. There's the piece for the shield. So that's that side, and we'll switch over to this side. Bag number 4, I believe this is. It's just got 1, 2, 3, 4 runners of frame parts there. Here's going to be our exclusive parts. So there's our metal V-fin inside there, the LED beam sabers, the blue feet, and the second beam rifle are all in that bag. I'm stopping counting because I'm going to lose count. This bag has more white runners there. Here we've got all of our yellow runners. There's our plastic V-fin, so you do have the option of using the metal or the plastic one if you want. And all of that. There's some blue pieces there, going to be going on around the legs and other places. Then more white armor and more of that red. There's our beam effect parts there. And there's some more frame parts, more rifle parts, and then more yellow parts, our big yellow fins for the shoulders, and then here's all our chrome parts. I don't particularly like this chrome. It's definitely a lot less shiny than on the Kshatriya that I built, so it's maybe not bad, but some of these parts I think I'm probably going to end up stripping the chrome off there, but we'll see about that. And finally, this small bag, it's going to have all of our LED stuff in there, and then just a few of the smaller runners, clear blue, clear green, and then some kind of polycaps looks like, and then our hand parts are all there. So no poster. I'm wondering where's the poster? Did I miss it somewhere? Okay, so apparently I didn't look at this very clearly. On this, which I thought was the picture of the poster, it's just the picture of the instruction manual. So I guess they decided not to include a poster. That's kind of really disappointing because I'm pretty sure they said that it was going to be coming with a poster. Not like I really have the space to put another huge giant poster from them, but still, I was kind of looking forward to that. Alright, so let's get going looking at all of the runners. I would normally show you the stickers and decals first, but I kind of already showed you all of that well enough. Just for fun, I'll just show you the photo etch parts once again quickly there. Then I want to go over some of the exclusive stuff first. So here is our premium version LED beam sabers. So you can see we've got metal handles there and a couple plastic parts and then the actual LED units in there. So I don't know how well these are going to work. I'm looking forward to trying them though. I don't really like that they're kind of metal, so yeah, I don't know. Probably not going to use these anyway because it's got the 2 beam rifles. Probably just going to use those. These might go to maybe some other kit, like just give them to like my perfect grade unicorn or something because they're so huge. They're 1/100 scale, but they're like perfect grade size. They're really, really big. So anyway, there's those. Then we have our specific metal V-fin. So I think this is just like some metal, probably just some aluminum or something relatively cheap, and then it's sprayed with this yellow, and I want to get this as close as possible because the yellow actually looks really, really nice. It's like a matte yellow color. The problem is if you use this, whatever in your painting, anyway, if you're not painting it doesn't matter, but if you're painting you're gonna have to match the yellow or just repaint this, but I'm not sure. I guess, well, it would be pretty simple to just repaint that, I suppose. Then we have this box which contains our metal thrusters. We've got 2 of those, these 2 other kind of metal piston-y parts, I think, and if those are LED housings, I'm not sure. It looks like they might be part of that or separate. I don't know, maybe separate. And then just some other wiring and the LED units themselves, resistors and LEDs. So everything you're going to need is contained in there, I suppose. Then we have all of our screws and stuff. We can see we've got a bunch of screws and some metal detail parts in there, 1 spring. In this second bag we've got a small Allen wrench there, some more screws, and then in the third bag more screws and a couple more metal like piston detail parts there. And then a tiny little bag with a couple more screws. Then the two runners that come with the exclusive version. The first runner is just going to be parts of the feet. We're going to have these parts again on another runner later. So it's just this one section of the runner. It doesn't have any number or anything because it's just a section of it they just cut off and reprinted in blue instead of red. Again, if you're going to be painting the kit, it really doesn't matter. You won't have any use for these at all. Here's something that is useful. This is the copy of the 9 runner, runner number 9. I'll get into that in a moment, but these are the parts to make your second beam rifle. Now, I'm guessing there must be more parts than just this, so that means if you don't have the premium version, then you're probably going to have some leftover parts, because I think like there must be some other like gray parts and stuff that we've got doubles of, but only the actual white parts. This runner, you're only going to have one of if you get the regular version later. Does that make sense? Okay, so starting off with the runners, this is runner A. Now, for these runners, all in total, including the 2 limited ones, there's 42 runners, so a lot in here. So, about the first half are going to be just recycled from the Kasi Gundam, and then the later half are new ones. So, the ones that are recycled from the Kasi are lettered A, B, C, D, E, F, like that. Then the new runners we've got are numbered, so just the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. That might make it a little bit confusing later when we have to pull parts. It's like runner 3 part 4, like that. It might get a little bit confusing, I guess, but it shouldn't be too bad. Anyway, so this runner you can see is marked, let's see, Mechanicore 1/100 scale MAS-14 E Zerstorein. That was their Kasi Gundam. So there's the symbol there on the back too. So this is obviously going to be our hand parts, and then this part I'm not sure exactly what that is, maybe a connection for the shield or something, but mostly just our hand and fingers on here. Here's runner B, also in that dark gray. Very kind of strange here, this space. Seems like an odd waste of space for those 2 parts. We do have 2 of runner B, and if you'll notice on one, I'm missing a part here. Just be really careful, this part came off in the bag. That can happen, especially on third-party kits. These parts sometimes come off the runners, so when you're pulling the runners out of the bag, just be careful you don't throw your bags away with parts in there. These are going to be parts for the inner frame, obviously. And here's runner D. Like I said, these first bunch of runners are going to be from the Kasi, so we're not going to be getting all of those runners like A, B, C, D, E, F. It's going to skip around a little bit, so we skipped C and going right to D now. These are obviously a bunch of our white armor parts. A lot of them, it looks like, are going around on the leg and probably arm as well. Some of like the just base armor parts, because like I said, the outer armor is going to be all new for the outer stuff. We do have 2 of this runner as well. For runner G, we've got our like salmon-y pink kind of color. A lot of detail parts. These are all like piston parts. We're gonna have the chrome parts to go in, and then this is the female end of the piston. Looks like that's a part for the shield, and just a few other parts for the waist section there, it looks like, and all of that. Runner J, interestingly, is our polycap runner. From my experience building the Ellen Kshatriya, which is basically the same company, the polycaps were very difficult to deal with, so I'm not looking forward to these polycaps. The polycaps is where you have the worst fitting issues I've found from my experience with the Kshatriya. So hopefully it's not so bad now. We'll just have to see. Runner K is a big heavy runner of inner frame parts. Once again, this is still from the Kasi. We do have 2 of this runner, and if you've ever built any G-Systems kits, the frame is copied from the G-Systems frame, so it's going to look very similar once the inner frame is all done. Of course, if you've built any Mechanicore kits as well, they're using the same inner frame they used for the Kshatriya. For the Kshatriya, it came pre-built, but for the Kasi and then now for the Penelope, they're using the same inner frame. And I expect they'll probably continue to use the inner frame for future kits as well. Here is runner L, and we have 2 of these as well. Once again, a lot of empty space up there, but these are just more frame parts we've got here. Here's runner M, and we're getting some of the larger white parts as well as some of the smaller ones as well. We have 2 of these M runners, so a lot of white parts there. Then runner S is a very, very big runner here. We've got a couple of joint looking parts there, and obviously it's just going to be a lot of the inner frame, what's left of the inner frame for the mobile suit. And then our last runner from the Kasi, so this is the last of our older runners, is runner X. And this is just the beam saber effect parts. So kind of nice that the only connection point here is at the base, so you're not going to have any nub marks along on the beams themselves anywhere. But like I said, when you've got two beam rifles, you're probably not going to really want to use these unless you want to go for a really specific pose with them. Okay, so our first new runner is runner 1, and it's just a bunch of these dark blue parts for the armor. Then for runner 2 is more dark blue color armor parts around. It looks like this part, I could be wrong, but that looks like it's like the collar piece. And we have 2 of these runners, so we're going to have an extra collar piece there. I think there's probably going to be a lot of extra pieces on some of these runners, but we'll just have to see. You can see I've got another loose part there going to fall off, so just be careful about that. Runner 3 is a big bright yellow runner with our fins for the shoulder armor, as well as a bunch of other smaller details, including some cool vent looking pieces. And we have 2 of these as well, so we're going to have a lot of nice bright yellow there. Runner 4 is the remainder of our yellow pieces, and interestingly you'll notice right away that the V-fin is kind of protected in this extra like plastic protection, so that's really cool. The one thing that I don't understand is why they made the connection point of it here, the gate, on such a really thin, delicate area. Why did they make the gate? And it's undergated, so that means you need to cut it twice there. Well, I mean, you're probably going to have to cut it twice anyway, but anyway. It's just more stuff to cut off rather than just a direct connection. So yeah, I don't know why they didn't make the connection point just a little bit further down where you have less chance of breaking off the tip of the V-fin. I've got the metal one I can use anyway, so it doesn't really matter. This is probably just... I might try to use this plastic one first and then just keep the metal one as a backup just in case this one breaks. Just because the metal one is probably not going to break, so then if I use the metal one there's not really any point to keeping this, but if I use this one then I know I've always got a backup just in case anything happens to it. Runner 05 is a gigantic runner of the remainder of our red parts here. We can see here's the part for the feet. This section is the part that we had, that we got new blue parts for the special edition. Then we've got a couple of really long narrow parts there up on the top, as well as just a bunch of other smaller red parts around here and there. I think these are going to be our parts for the rifle as well. I think those are going to the rifle, so we can see we've got 2 sets of those. So if you don't have the special edition, you're just going to have to throw out one of those sets, something like that. Runner 6 is our chrome runner, and we have 2 of these, so a lot of tiny, shiny chrome parts on here. So, like I said, the chrome on this is not as bad as it was on the Kshatriya, and I think even on the Kasi as well. The chrome seems a little bit toned down, so I like it more than I did in the past. On my Kshatriya kit, I ended up just stripping the chrome off of most of those parts on the inner frame, the chrome parts, just because I didn't like the color of it. These ones look okay though, so I might actually keep some of these chrome, but we'll have to see when it comes time to building it. Of course, it is going to leave nub marks, but on the most of them it looks like the nubs are probably not going to be too much of a big deal, and I can see some of the parts are undergated a little bit in some areas. Anyway, a few of them, but anyway, there's that. Here we've got runner 7, and yes, both of these are runner 7. Here we can see number 07 on there, and here 07 on there, but obviously they're not the same, so you're thinking, oh, what if I need part 7.1? Here's 7.1 and here's 7.1, but actually this is 7.4. This one covers parts 1, 2, and 3, and then this is 4 through 10 on this part of the runner, so it's just separated into 2. Maybe it was something like that before. Anyway, some really cool stuff here. These clear blue parts actually look really, really nice. The color of the clear blue is quite nice, and I don't know how well you can see that, but there's a texture here on these parts. This is like perfectly clear, and here has like a kind of honeycomb, kind of dotted texture in there. I'm not sure exactly where these parts go on the kit at the moment, but that's a really cool effect that that's got there. The green parts as well also have a lot of really nice detail inside there. So when you've got these lit up with a LED, it's going to look really, really nice. Runner 8 is a nice big runner in like periwinkle blue color. I don't know why they didn't just make it like a kind of light gray. It is kind of light gray, but it's definitely got a lot of a little bit of a blue tint to it. So the color is kind of odd, but again, I'm planning on painting it, so it doesn't really matter too much, but it's just kind of weird. Runner 9 is the same runner that you already saw, the runner for the white parts for the beam rifle, so this is just our second one of that. Runner 10, now we're starting to get into some of the really big parts, and we even have two of these, runner 10. So these are going to be some very, very large white parts on there, including parts for the shield there as well, I think for the front and back parts of the shield. I'll give you a closer look, see if you can see some of this detail on there. Some really nice detail. The details look pretty good. I want to say the details are all looking pretty clean. We can see we've got some nice like vent detail inside there. All the panel lines, everything looks pretty nice. Some of these larger parts are pretty bare, like here, it's like not a whole lot of detail on there at all. But I'm not sure exactly where that is on the kit, so it might be okay if that's a part that doesn't really need a whole lot of detail. Anyway, it's good for just putting some of the larger water slides on there anyway. Runner 11 has a big white fin on there, and then just a bunch more white parts. Obviously there's a lot of white on this kit, and we even have two of these as well, so that's more white. But we're not done with the white actually, and that's because we have runner 12, which contains only a total of 6 parts, but they are absolutely huge. I got out my ruler because I want to be able to tell you guys exactly how big these parts are. Those large parts are 12 inches long, or in millimeters they're about 30 and a half, 31 centimeters long, so huge parts. Obviously those are going to be our main wing parts on the backpack, the kind of wing tail stabilizer parts there. Runner 13 is still even more white parts. We're not quite done yet, and here we can see we do have the very, very thin, sharp, delicate looking kind of antenna that goes on the top of the bird's head. That part looks really cool. Runner 14 is containing some very odd shaped trees here, but once again more white parts for the legs, and for the chest, this is our chest eye field generator part there. Looks pretty cool, so there's that. And finally the last of the white parts, the last of the white runners, this is runner 15. There's obviously going to be our main parts for the bird head. I believe those are back skirts and front skirts, or I could have those reversed. But there's our main skirt pieces, as well as some pieces here for the head, sides of the head, and then back and front. There's the faceplate there in the corner. And yeah, that's it. That's a lot of white. Speaking of strangely shaped runners, here's runner 16, and we're back to gray, as now we need to cover the new inner frame parts that are specific for this kit and not the cassis. So these are going to be obviously mostly going inside the shoulder armor, it looks like, and then maybe these ones maybe somewhere else, but looks like some really, really great detail there. I'll give you some close-up look at these as well. I know this video is obviously right now going very, very long, but in case you guys wanted to see some of that detail more close-up, here you go. It's looking pretty good. Almost done. Here's runner 17 with some more frame parts. This is going to be the underside of the foot, I suppose, as well as just some other stuff on there, some other thruster pieces like that, and all of that. Pretty cool vent part there. And we do have 2 of these, so 2 of runner 17. And finally, runner 18 is our last runner, and it's a big one. It's one of the largest ones, and definitely probably has one of the highest part count for the runners, minus the chrome runner, of course, which had a crazy amount. But again, it's just more inner frame parts, more really, really nice looking detail. Of course, despite however good the details are, the parts have to actually fit together well, which is the problem I've heard with the cassis. So hopefully this doesn't have that problem too badly. So there we go, 42 runners plus a whole bunch of extra stuff thrown in there as well. It is going to be a really big endeavor to build this kit. I think it is safe to safely compare this to a perfect grade. It is 1/100 scale, but just the total amount of parts and plus the size once it's done is going to be gigantic. I'm not going to be building this straight away. I know a lot of you guys are probably going to be wanting to see what this looks like right away. I would like to build the cassis first before I build this one, so then I can compare them to see like the natural progression of how MC has improved. Not MC, model, how Mechanicore has improved. But to build the cassis, I want to finish my Kshatriya first. So now that I've got this, it looks really nice. I'm feeling really inspired to hurry up and finish my Kshatriya so then I can work on the cassis, so then I can work on this. But Also need to build the perfect grade unicorn so I can build the Banshee and all of that. So busy times, as well as everything else that I'm working on building and wanting to build anyway. So I'm going to try to get to this as soon as possible, guys, but please try to understand it is going to be a little while first. But just wanted to show you guys what all is in the box. Obviously there's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of stuff to work with. Kit looks great so far, just the problem of course is going to be how everything fits together. Hopefully not too much in the way of issues there, but the thing about with these kits is what I've learned from working on the Kshatriya and what I've heard from other people who have worked on that and the Mechanicore kits as well. It takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of headaches, getting stuff to fit right, just getting everything all painted and detailed. There's a lot of stuff to paint and detail there. But the point is that when it's done, it's amazing looking kits when it's all said and done. So obviously the kits are expensive, and obviously it's going to take a whole lot of time and effort, but you get a really nice looking finished kit when you're done. So that's the important part, right? Anyway, thanks for watching, sticking through this. If you guys did stick through all of this, I appreciate it, or at least I hope it was interesting for you or useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.